all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Back in the Bossman show here with North Colorado's new head coach, Steve Smiley, out of the Big Sky Conference. So, Coach Smiley, what's up with you guys out there in Colorado, man?
Oh, just, right now, just probably the same as everywhere else, just trying to, kind of understand this current and new reality with the COVID deal. And it's just kind of funny. I think I got the job right as this was happening. And I think we had the first ever social distancing virtual press conference, and had the AD 10 feet away at the table on my left, and the president 10 feet away on my right. We're just staring into a camera with no one in the arena. And it's been kind of like that ever since, but it's been good.
Yeah, Coach, same here, man. It happened on March 11th for me, my birthday. I was at the Hawks-Knicks game, and I get told the season will be suspended. I'm like, what? Season suspended?
Yeah.
And I was like, so it happened on my birthday, so I can't forget it. It happened on my birthday, so I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is going down. And how life has changed in the past month, of how life is just so different for us in the media, you as a coach, trying to recruit kids, keep your team together, check on your guys when they're back home with their families. Man, I can imagine how crazy it's been for you getting this job, trying to get everything in order when everybody is so far apart right now.
Yeah, it's been a little different, our season was cut short. Same thing. We were getting ready for the quarterfinals of the Big Sky tournament, and we had our practice in the arena. We're back at the hotel. We're eating pregame breakfast, and then the athletic director walks in, and he kind of shakes his head no. And at the time, the head coach Jeff Linder walked up to the front of the room and said, "Hey, sorry guys, tournament's over. Let's pack our bags. We're gonna get on a flight back to Denver." So since then, it's been a challenge, in terms of keeping the team together. But I guess for me at least, it hasn't been as hard because I've been here for 4 years. I know these guys, and the current roster all stuck around, which was really good. And then, so we kind of knew what we at least wanted to do recruiting wise. It's been interesting hiring a staff over the phone, but I got some of my good friends that are coming in and coaching colleagues, and a couple of our guys stuck around in terms of the staff that I was a part of as well. And the things have been good, but it's been team Zoom meetings and individual FaceTime meetings, and it isn't amazing how many meetings we're having without trying to just inundate the guys. But I do think the ability to be connected is really important for a variety of reasons.
I thought this coach, because he can give the guys workouts to do, whether it be with bands, different dumbbells they have them at home. They can say, because you don't want the guys to come back maybe in August or September and start from scratch, getting them guys in shape. Because, they don't do enough for 5 months. They can get out of shape, gain some weight by eating junk food, playing video games. So trying to keep the guys in shape is probably be priority one right now, along with keeping the guys engaged with schoolwork and with the team as well.
Yeah, those are the two things. Obviously the schoolwork. We've got 3.5 weeks of actual school left before finals. Our finals week is May 4th through 8th. So, they got 3 or 4 weeks left of just kind of trying to figure out this online stuff. And I think for the most part, our guys are doing a pretty good job of it. And then, just kind of the strength / conditioning / staying shape / nutrition is just so important because even, for instance, I got a couple kids that are in California and out there in California, they're taking all the rims down off the public park hoops. And so it's getting to the point where there's almost nothing they can do with a ball unless they have a hoop in the driveway. That's it. So when you get that taken away from you, then it's just about trying to keep your body in shape. And like you said, not just sitting around eating bad food, playing video games. So I think we talked to them a lot about that. We're trying to keep them educated on that. Strength coach sending out, the at-home body weight workout if they don't have any weights at all at the house, just trying to keep them doing the best job they can, because you're right. I mean, they show up, let's just say it's August or September. Nobody knows, but let's say they show up and they haven't done anything for 5 or 6 months. That's a real problem for everybody. So try to keep them going.
Now, Coach, I feel good that after Coach Linder took the job at Wyoming, that, hey, the university said, hey, Coach Smiley, we believe in you and what you've done as an assistant coach here, lead this program going on forward, because I know it's because sometimes you want to look outside the box, but I feel like, them choosing you right there in the house means they really thought that highly of you, what you could bring to this program after Coach Linder moved on.
Yeah, and I think, when for me, the nice thing was when Coach Linder got this job, he and I have been close personal friends long before the coaching world. We grew up pretty close to each other, and similar age. And so, when he left for this job, I left, my previous position for this job as well. And so we were together from day one. And I think I did feel like, if we put together a good program for however many years that is, that at some point in time, I'd at least have the opportunity to hopefully get in that interview room with those people, the athletic director, the president, and whoever else was going to be on the committee, and just try to explain my vision. And, luckily over the past 4 years, we've had a great run, and I don't think it's over yet. I think we're still building with our current roster. But with the success comes opportunity, and Coach Linder had a great opportunity to move on to Wyoming, and that opened the door for me to have a chance. And, the interview went well, and here we are. But it is a pretty amazing and humbling feeling to get the opportunity.
Now, Coach, you've been a head coach at the JUCO level, but now you're a head coach at the D1 level. So how did you prepare yourself from working with Coach Randy Ray there at Weber State and Coach Linder these past 4 years to prepare yourself in your mind how to become a head coach, kind of in your brain make plans of how you would do things here, do things there, kind of prepare yourself to present yourself in the meeting with the people of decision makers and say, hey, I'm the man for this job as coach moves on?
Yeah, great question. Going back to when I was a junior college head coach for 6 years, you get to the flow of that, and you kind of think you've got some things figured out, some things that you continually learn. But when I left being a head coach to be an assistant, for Randy Ray, and had that opportunity there with Coach Ray, that was the first, big step to just kind of seeing a different way of doing things, and then doing things at a higher level. Weber State and Coach Ray have always been, synonymous with winning, and so that was a great experience for 2 years. And then, that kind of segued into this job here, and being able to kind of move to that associate head coach, role where I had a lot more responsibility with Coach Linder. I think all those things kind of just start blending together. You see extreme winning from Randy Ray, from Jeff Linder, even back when I was a player from Don Meyer and famous Don Meyer. I think that all that, subliminally kind of puts you ready to be a head coach if you ever get the opportunity. So that was kind of the goal when I left being head coach and controlling my life and schedule to go work for Coach Ray, is that, I needed to learn and continue to improve as well. And I think, being around both Coach Ray and then obviously, Coach Linden for the last 4 years, I think they has prepared me for this opportunity.
Yeah, because those two guys know how to build a program. And that's why I feel you saw how to build a program for Coach Don Meyer. Now, Coach, I went to basketball camp as a child at Lipscomb. Went to his basketball camp.
Wow.
So yeah, because my mom was a Lipscomb alum. She graduated from Lipscomb in 1972. So I've known.
Well,
I went to his camp when I was a young man in Nashville with my mother.
I bet you got some crazy stories, because I've heard some stories in the same type of camp when I played for Coach Meyer at Northern State. Same idea, but I'll tell you this: after my first year at Northern, he was still doing kind of the last year camps in Nashville, and so myself and our other kid in our class, my best friend Sundance Wicks, who's now on the staff at Wyoming, and before that was the head coach of Missouri Western. Sonny and I, we hopped in the car from Aberdeen, South Dakota. We drove 17 hours down to Nashville, Tennessee to work Coach Meyer's last, Lipscomb camps. And so we got a chance to kind of see the legendary setup and all the amazing things down there in Nashville. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, indeed. It was a cool time. Coach, I'm telling you, my mom had me at Frankie Allen's basketball camp, Jan Van Brederkoff's basketball camp, and Coach Myers. It was the summertime when I was in Nashville in the summertime, because my dad was in Atlanta, but I would go to Nashville sometime with my mama, so she would have me in camps the whole time I'm there, meeting these legendary coaches who now I talk to on my show now become friends over the years.
Wow. Now, I would assume you probably still have some of those Don Meyer handouts or a notebook or something from that camp, or something like that. There's probably somewhere in your files or in your storage.
They're over at my mom's house in Nashville still. They're up there at her house in Nashville still.
I believe it. That's awesome. What a small world.
You got that right, man. You got that right. And you know what, Coach? Like I said, man, I feel like, you have a great thing going out there. The Big Sky is getting better. Like this year, Eastern Washington and Shante Leggins won the regular season title. Coach Travis DeCure does a good job in Montana. And even the bottom teams in this conference this year were tough to beat, tough outs. In the middle of the conference, it's tough. So I feel like every night in the Big Sky, it's a hard night. There's no easy nights off in that conference. Nowhere, top to bottom.
No, it has been a good league. I've been in the league for 6 years, and as you kind of watch the kind of advanced stats and rankings, whether it's the old school stuff, the BPI, the RPI, the things like that. Now that obviously the college net kind of lumps it all together, or Ken Palm, which we do a lot of that stuff too. I think the Big Sky this year finished 17th in the country out of 32 leagues, which is really pretty good. And when you really look at it, you look at the top 5 Power 5s, and you throw the Big East, you throw those, the top 8 or 9 schools, the top 8 or 9 leagues. I mean, that there are some great teams and players. So when you're talking about floating around, the middle teens from 14 to 18, you've got yourself a really good league. And so the league was really good this year. Obviously Eastern Washington, us, Montana, kind of separate ourselves out near the end of the year. And it's funny, Eastern Washington, we both our games came down to the final possession. We lost in overtime at their place. We had the ball for the last shot at their place, and it didn't work out. And then at our place, they had really with the minute left, and we missed a 3 to tie it. And I think our two teams were that close. So as we went into that tournament with the 2 seed, we did feel like we got a great chance to get right there and maybe get some March Madness. But again, once coronavirus hit, it was all over. But you're right. I mean, the league is good. There's no easy nights. The travel can be challenging with the way the schedule's laid out, and in a good way that there's some good home court advantages, and there's some teams and programs that really care about basketball, and it makes it tough.
Yeah, because I said I was telling Coach DeCure when I had him on the show, man, you and Eastern Washington play every year in Boise, don't you? And that final game, he's like, we hope. He's ready to lay back in reserve, but he's like, it's always close and tough, no matter what you got in tournament time. Anybody can be anybody. So I feel like it's so great. People sleep on the conference out west, because a lot of people out this way are in bed when y'all all are playing. So it takes a junkie to be up and watch it, So it's like you don't realize how good this league really is.
No question. Yeah, being out west is kind of the basics to them. The games that are on ESPN on the West Coast teams, they're so late at night for East Coast. You can't even watch them. But no, there's a lot of good basketball in the West. There's a lot of good leagues, and starting with the Pac-12 and as you kind of move through the whole deal. I mean, there's a lot of really good leagues out here, a lot of good players, and I think it's getting better and better.
Now, non-conference scheduling while I was coaching, with you guys being out west and being in Colorado, you kind of good location to kind of schedule how you ever want to schedule. But I know you can play some guarantee games, of course, raise money for university
right.
as well. Kind of want to take some guys back home, maybe put down a Zips tournament. So, how you see something about scheduling these games going forward? Now that you're the man in charge of scheduling these games, because that's the most important thing beyond recruiting is definitely scheduling games for sure.
You're right. Yeah, no, I mean, probably the three most important parts of any program would be, recruiting, scheduling, and just, your practices. And, scheduling, luckily one thing that, Coach Leonard did a great job with me and our entire staff of giving us, duties and roles. And actually the whole 4 years, I was kind of the lead schedule guy. And then, Coach Leonard would co-sign on everything or say yes or no when we got down to the final, deal. But I've learned a lot about scheduling, and Coach Leonard is a master at understanding how important schedule is. So, in terms of scheduling, like you said, you got certain guarantee games that you've got to get this level. You got to kind of balance it out. Our schedule in general has gotten harder to fill in the sense of 20 league games now. It used to be 18. So our non-conference, you've only got 11 games, which sounds great because you got 20 league games, and that's a good deal. But it does make it tough because you still have to, raise the same amount of money that we have to raise out here. You try to get a tournament in there. You try to get a couple home games. Our league, we only do two non-D1 games, where I think the overall rules you could get up to 4, and we only do 2. So you can't just have a bunch of non-D1s in your schedule. So it gets challenging. I think going back to teams, like Montana, the more you win, and we experience this here, and we experienced it at Weber State. The more you win, the harder it is to schedule because no one wants to play you. There's just not a lot in it for those teams, and there's not a lot to gain, and there's a lot to lose. So it does get challenging, but we're working on our schedule right now, and I think we're pretty close to being done. Just a couple games left. So
it's funny how I suggested to Coach Pastner to play certain people. He's like never. I've told him to play certain teams. He's like, never, not happening, not on my watch. I know how that goes and how much level. They don't want to take an L to pay you to come beat them. They don't want to do that at all. I can understand that totally.
It can make things a little tricky. We've had some luck over the past few years that we've actually, some of those guarantee games that we've won, we've walked away with a check and a W, and that can be a real problem for their team. So, you do the best you can. You know at our level that you're going to have to go play some really tough teams on the road. If you look at our schedule over the last 4 years, I mean, we've had to play some of the top teams in the country year after year after year. But, when you do that, it's fun for your guys too, and it gives them a good, kind of gauge on where they're at in the grand scheme of things. And they want to play, and they want to prove themselves too against the best teams in the country. So there's a lot of benefit too.
That's what I for coaches for season of Atlanta here, coach. A lot of guys here listen to the show. High school basketball players, a lot of good players here in the city of Atlanta and around the area. So for a young man from Atlanta who wants to go out west to Colorado, play for Colorado, how do you pitch a young man out here to want to come out that way and get a good education and play for you and play in a great Colorado that the Big Sky Conference is?
Well, I think it's gotten a little easier for just kind of the free flow of recruiting and players wherever, just because of when you've got the club scene, which right now with COVID, who knows where that's going to go. But when you go to one of the circuits, for instance, like an Under Armour, a Nike UIBL, or the Adidas 3-stripe deal, you're going to see teams from all across the country, and you're still going to probably follow the teams that are in your kind of geographical footprint. But those teams are going to play teams from Atlanta, Nashville, wherever. So you do get to see kind of that blend of players from all over the place. And then because now there's so much more film and there's so much more access on Synergy and some of those platforms, you can watch so much more film where you don't have to physically go out, to Atlanta as an example and go watch a kid play six times. We don't have probably the budget to do that. But if you see a kid and you really dig into it and you really like all the film and everything else checks out with transcripts and things like that, well, then you can say, okay, we've crossed the T's and dotted the I's, and we can pop back out there and have a recruiting trip with, a couple of kids, and then it makes it real. So I think just for, kids in general, just the same stuff with, not only club, but, the new high school kind of rules that in June, we're all able to see some different high school sanctioned events, and then the new NCAA academies that are in July where kids are kind of blended from all over the country on that invite deal, and it's a different way to watch kids from everywhere. So I think the opportunities for kids in general has really blossomed over the last couple of years.
All right, there with Coach Smiley. Best of luck to you, brother. I hope to see you here when COVID goes away, because we're here to recruit to catch up with you. We in town recruiting some guys, man, and at the Peach Jam, maybe at the Lake Point deal up there as well. So best of luck to you in this new environment. Hopefully you do a great job. We'll talk to you again down the road towards November, Coach.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Coach. Best of luck to you, buddy.
All right, bye.
Hip hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.